Evicting a tenant can seem like a complicated process, but in this video, we'll quickly explain eviction laws in Maryland and how to recover your property in 5 simple steps. First, what is an eviction? Eviction is the process of legally removing a tenant. It's illegal for a landlord to change locks or physically remove a tenant themselves. So, if the renter refuses to leave after violating their lease, you must seek an eviction from the court. The process for simply terminating a lease differs from that of an eviction. Lease terminations require proper notice from the landlord or tenant, and state conditions can be found on our website. Legal reasons for eviction in Maryland. A landlord only has grounds to evict a tenant for reasons allowable in the state. The first step in the eviction process is to give the lessee one of the following notices. Non-payment of rent. In Maryland, the landlord may begin a process called summary ejectment, which starts the process of eviction immediately upon rent being late. The notice should be given to the tenant when the landlord has received an ejectment case number and a date from the sheriff when the eviction shall take place. Imminent danger. If the tenant poses a threat to themselves or other tenants on the property, you may give them a 14-day notice to quit. If the tenant refuses to comply after the allotted 14 days, a landlord can issue a summons through the courts immediately. Non-compliance. If the tenant breaks any portion of the lease other than late rent, the landlord may give the tenant a 30-day notice to quit. The tenant then has 14 days to comply with the lease. If they do not cure their violation in 14 days, they must vacate within 30 days. Rent grace period. In Maryland, there is no rent grace period. Rent is due on the due date. 5 steps to legally evicting a tenant in Maryland. Serve the notice to quit. Choose the form you need and download or fill it out on eforms.com. Post it on the tenant's door and also send it via certified mail. If the breach is curable, you must wait for the specified number of days to give the tenant a chance to fix the problem. If it's an instance of unpaid rent, you can skip this step. File eviction papers with the court. If the tenant hasn't mitigated the issue and remains on the property, or if the breach is incurable, you can proceed to court. You'll need to file a complaint. The form is not available online and must be obtained from the court in the county in which your property is located. The City of Baltimore has additional instructions, which can be accessed below through our website. Serve the complaint. After the filing, you'll need to serve the tenant the summons, which specifies a hearing date and the complaint. This can be done using the sheriff's office. Attend the hearing. The judge will make a decision at the hearing. If the tenant does not attend, or if the judge finds in your favor, the lessee will be given 4 days to vacate. Removing the tenant. If the tenant is ordered by the court to leave and they do not vacate, you can file a petition for warrant of restitution, which must be obtained from the court. This will allow a sheriff to evict the tenant. Damages. Often the tenant's security deposit does not cover total losses. If damages are not awarded at the hearing, you may be able to recover past due rent and court fees through small claims court. Now you can get eviction proceedings started. Get eviction forms, court documents, and all other information you'll need at the link below for free.